Hello and welcome to another YachtBuyer 360 tour. Today I'm at the Palm Beach Boat Show on board the Horizon PC60. This is one of their most popular models, their power cat models. In fact, one of the most popular power cats in this sector outright. But this one has got quite an important change, which is why I'm starting on the bow. I'll get into that in a moment. For now, just to point out, this is a 360 tour, so you are in control of the camera angle. Whatever you're watching on, you can move around the view. I'm just going to walk you through the boat and you can choose what you look at as we go through it. So with no further ado, let's crack on. So the big change with this model is this. It's the first one with a Portuguese bridge. Previously, this was just basically a redundant area. There was no access, there was no seating area, there was no door, and this really transforms the way this boat works. Gonna head up there in a moment. For now, let's just stay on the foredeck and have a look at what's down here. It's a power cat, so obviously it's very beamy. There's a lot of surface up here. It's very bright. This one hasn't got any teak or synthetic teak. It's lovely and cool underfoot, but it obviously is a lot of white. It's a lot of glare in this sort of sunlight, but it's very, very practical. The storage is absolutely outstanding. If you pan the view down now, looking at foot level, you'll see there's a hatch in the deck. You've got two of those, one in each forepeak, and they are just huge deck lockers for fenders, lines, covers, all sorts of kit can go in there. But then underneath this hatch you've got essentially walk-in storage. You can see you've got those clips up there, they've got a boat hook, they've got the paddle for the paddle boards. Below that they've got all the dive tanks, fishing rods, really useful utility locker. There's also freshwater wash down here, so you can hose down this area from up here without having to fit a hose every time or run a hose up from the quayside. It's a really usable space. They've not got fixed sun pads, they've put these bean bags down, but the thing is you've got space to store them. It's not so much of an issue if you're using loose furnishings, if you have somewhere really easy to put them, and you do. The storage is just sensational. Now I want to head up through the Portuguese Bridge, so I'll just show you the side decks. They aren't spectacularly wide for a power cat. I mean, they're wide, don't get me wrong, but not that much wider than a 60-foot monohull. But the reason that is because they've put a lot of the beam into the saloon. They don't want the side decks to gobble up all the living space, otherwise you don't feel like you're getting the benefit of a catamaran. And these side decks are really usable in this, guys. You've got boarding gates as well, little cutouts here, so you can get off side two. There's steps in the cockpit as well. I'll show you those when we head back there in a moment. But I really want to start by heading up to the Portuguese Bridge. The big change with this version, brand new this year, 2025, with this arrangement, and it's a real game changer. I think these spaces work so well on power cats. Other brands do this, Aquila do this, Leopard do this. Horizon have caught up and they've executed it really nicely. That staircase right up the middle of the foredeck there works really well. You've only got an upper helm, so it means that if you are helping with the crewing, you can come away from the helm, down those steps, and you can help out with the lines. But it's also a great living space. And a great living space if you're moving along. It's certainly at sort of slow speed. What a lovely place to sit and enjoy the journey with a great view forward. But also when you're stationary. Those cushions are on top of tables, so you can take those cushions off. They extend the living space, but you can use them as tables if you want to have drinks up here. And crucially, the walk-through door, this split door, and that is what gives you access out of this upper saloon area forward to the foredeck. And how about this for a Helm Station? That is seriously good, isn't it? Super clear triple Garmin screens. See how clear the camera footage is there. That's looking down at the cockpit. So again, if you're maneuvering from up here, you've got a view of the back of the boat. Two other screens to have navigation information, engine information. And look at the steering wheel. Horizon steering wheel, just lovely. Stainless steel spokeless, looks and feels fantastic. You've also got a pair of Horizon branded STID adjustable seats. It's really comfortable. I've used those loads of times and they're really lovely for longer passages. This is your only Helm Station, as I said, so they really wanted to make sure they hit the spot, and they have. It's fantastic. This boat's running a pair of 705 horsepower Cummins engines, top speeds about 23 knots, but it can cruise at quite comfortably 18 knots. If you slow it right down to 9 knots, you've got a cruising range of well over 1,000 nautical miles. So really flexible performance depending on the type of cruising you're doing. And yes, a very comfortable Helm Station to enjoy that from. On the starboard side, This is set up as a day bed at the moment, so you can stretch out here, or you can remove this cushion, and it's just a nice big seat where, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 people can sit facing forward, enjoying the ride alongside the Helm Station. A really nice dinette. Horizon used this ratchet system, if you just pan down a bit, manual ratchet system to raise and lower the table. Beautiful gloss woodwork on that table as well. That's a really nice functional area. And opposite that, there's a bar. Mix of white tops and inset woodwork look great. And you have some basic equipment here to serve from this deck. So a sink, ice maker and fridge. And this also connects aft. Notice how it all seals off with covers, but you can open it up if you want. It all connects aft to this deck. Now this is the tender deck, hence why there's not much furniture up here, but you could put some loose furniture up here if you wanted. You can see we've got the crane that lifts the tender onto its chocks, which are mounted down here. The other nice thing about this deck is it's got a day head. So you don't have to go downstairs to use the toilet. There's one right here. It's very convenient. And a big chest freezer as well. So plenty of cooling space on this deck, bearing in mind there's a full galley downstairs, which is where we're going to look at next. On this staircase. We arrive in the cockpit. I'll head aft first and we'll work back in. So obviously Catamaran split platforms, but it's joined by this platform that raises up and down. Not really designed for a big tender, but you could put a Sea-Doo Spark on there. So if you want to carry multiple water toys, you've got tender storage up top, jet ski down there. You can see over there, you've got a fish prep platform, a couple of rod holders in it, right aft, which is nice. And then lovely wide access into the cockpit itself, which is really shady. This is where, if people want to eat outside, no doubt they'll be during the day. You've got a shade over the transom for protection and also some privacy. But nice that there's a sofa there and also the dinette. They're separate. The table isn't part of the transom, so you've got a bit of flexibility with that space. People coming on board, so I'm going to head inside. Where we find the main saloon. Really lovely, homely arrangement in here. Galley on the starboard side, really big galley as well. Look at those bar stools. Proper breakfast bar, huge amount of cooling space just aft. All of that is cooling. You can see the fridge door and the freezer drawers as well. Induction cooking over on that side. This is the only arrangement for the galley. You can't have a galley down on this model, but you can have dining space forward. I'll explain about that in a moment. This is your internal dinette. Another gorgeous table that raises up and down. Your internal seating area. And then the television mounted up there on the wall. This feels very comfortable. Feels like a condominium, as they'd say in the States. Really homely setup here with proper sort of household facilities. Feels like a boat you could live on board for a long time. Now there's accommodation in either hull, but I'm going to stay on this deck, where in this guy's forward we have the owner's cabin. Now you can have this as a dinette, more living space. So you can remove that bulkhead that's now behind me, and you can make this into a big dining space. If you want that sort of country kitchen vibe, you can do that. But as the owner, obviously this is a lovely space. Nearly full beam, just got to account for the side decks, but really big island berth, fully walk around, totally flat floor, masses of headroom, and these lovely windows. So you've got so much natural light coming in. Both of them head through there. They've all got blinds, so you've got privacy, of course. And we've got gloss oak here, but you have this walnut burst in the middle, just to break it up a bit, which I think looks really nice. Then on the port side, down a run of steps, we come to the bathroom. Loads of hanging storage as you first come down, and then a split toilet and shower. So looking aft, you find the toilet compartment. And then if I swing this camera around, we're looking forward now, going towards that forepeak on the port side. How nice is that bathroom? Lovely and bright, because you've got a big patch of hull window and the skylight overhead, which is also great for letting out the steam when you're showering. Lovely separate shower cubicle. I really like that detail as well. And also the tiling inside the shelving there. It's a lot of white, so they've broken that up, which works well. And there's enough space in here for twin sinks. This is such a lovely owner's space. Do bear in mind, this boat is only around 60 feet long, so it's a huge amount of living space. Let's head aft and check out the guest cabins. And as we come out again, we can take a look at the scene from this angle. It's a huge space. I said about the beam being used in here, and you can really see the effect. There's just so much space in here. Lovely. Now, if you do have the main deck living area instead of the main deck master, then as we come down here and move forward, this is what becomes the master cabin in that arrangement. In this, guys, this is an absolutely lovely VIP. And gone are the days where catamarans had their berths pointed right into the far end of the hull. This double bed walk around lies across the hull so that you can take in the views out of the hull window. Hatches above in here as well, so there's plenty of natural light, and when it's breezy you can possibly rely on the breeze rather than just air conditioning, but of course we've got full air conditioning throughout. Television in this cabin, and it's also got a lovely ensuite. I like this smoked glass effect, just means you've not got this big panel of wood robbing you of light, whereas here you've got a partition door into the ensuite, which is lovely and bright, a little bit narrow, but you've got a separate shower cubicle, and I like the woodwork underneath the sink. The look and feel is really nice. You know, it's not just sort of plain surfaces. They've really worked on the detailing. Nice big opening porthole in here as well. So as well as the extractor fan, you've got that to get rid of steam. Aft there's a twin. Before that you've got laundry facilities, stacked washer and dryer separate, which is nice. And then a twin cabin back here. This doesn't have a bathroom. These are owner-run boats, but I suppose if you were going to run with crew, this might be their cabin. Otherwise it's great for kids, occasional guests. Nowhere near as comfortable as the VIP, but not bad. And it's got some storage, hanging storage, drawer storage, but no bathroom, so they're going to have to go forward and share that bathroom with the VIP. So let's go across the other hull. The port side. No galley down arrangement on this boat. The only change you can make is having that master on the main deck or having living space on the main deck. Now this is a twin, heading forward now. A nicer twin cabin than the one we've just seen. This is a very comfortable guest cabin, with storage behind the door. Good headroom throughout as well. A little lobby area, and then this has got a private ensuite, though this would also function as a day head because it is the closest bathroom on this level to the main deck. Obviously you've got that day head up on the top deck, but from main deck level this is where you'll come down to use the facilities during the day. Now let's head back into the cockpit. I had to rush that a bit because people joined us, so I just want to go over a couple more points before we look at the engine room. The sliding door. So yeah, we got to the seating. Sorry, we're at a boat show. There's quite a lot of hubbub. Sorry if that's a bit noisy on the mic. But this is nice. Proper overhead shower. So when you come out, having had a swim, you can wash off under there. There are also boarding gates aft, so we saw them forward earlier on, but you've got them here as well, which is really nice. And you know, these guys who own these boats will go off to the Bahamas, somewhere like that, go fishing. They'll be on the boat for weeks, sometimes months on end, so storage for this type of stuff is really important. That's a great fishing kit locker. You've got the wet bar here with another sink, ice maker and fridge. So although the galley's close by, you can get your cold drinks and snacks and really easily serve this lovely table. Now, of course, it's a split engine room, being a catamaran, They're pretty much identical, so I'm just going to drop down into the starboard side one. Those are very, very heavy hatches. Those rams are going to get a workout. But when they open up, you've got great access down here. You can see there's a teak ladder, so I'll drop down and pick it up again. Now the spec sheet has deceived me, because these are not Cummins engines, these are clearly MAN engines. Either way, similar horsepower, similar performance, you know, sort of early to mid-20s flat out, 18 knot fast cruise, and then, yeah, well over 1,000 nautical miles at your displacement speed. But yeah, because the engines have a hull each, there's loads and loads of space in here. I'll just poke the camera down and over so you can have a look in the far reaches. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get around this space. Forward end of the engine, it's pretty tight down there, but this is the important end because this is where the shaft is. So you can easily get to there, under my feet. You see you've got things like twin fuel filters, Raycor filters with clear bulbs, so you can check by eye, make sure there's no sediment in the fuel, and if there is, or you get a blockage in one, you can switch across really easily. We have generators on board. I presume they are in the other hull. If you don't use stabilisation on a Cat, it's all built into the design. So really, it's just the engines down here, and they wallow around in plenty of space. It's something I say quite often, owner-run boats, engine access is so important if you're going to be doing it yourself. And the nice thing about a Catamaran is the engines have got plenty of room. I hope you enjoyed that tour. I think that is a really well-sorted multi-hull design. They've been building this model for a long time without the Portuguese Bridge, and that shows. It hangs together really well. It functions so well as a boat to live on board. Let me know what you think about this boat in the comments below. Head to yachtbuyer.com if you want to compare this boat to its rivals, and do give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Oh, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer 360.